Good boy.
Hey.
Oh my God, he's eating the donut.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
Oh my God, he's huge.
Hey. Hey bitch, and welcome back to another video. We are dealing with an epidemic in the world and especially in the United States. More than 55% of domesticated dogs and cats are obese.
And he gets the big green cupful.
Okay.
We completely fill up the bowl.
Okay.
And that is how he gets to eat. So I leave food in the bowl all the time.
All right. So in one day, we're looking at something like that for Mr. Bo Nugget.
Probably be equivalent to about 2 birds, don't you think?
Are we talking about pheasant or turkey?
We're going to be talking in depth on obese pets and the craziness surrounding people's inability to see how dangerous this epidemic is. People think it's cute, it's funny. There's literally Instagram and TikTok pages dedicated to fat cats and fat dogs. I mean, as entertaining as we all find this to be, there seems to be a disconnect between what people think is cute and what is literal animal abuse. But before we get into the chonkers of the United States, we're going to get into today's sponsor. So today's video is sponsored by Scentbird. This is a company that has sponsored me many times before, and I'm personally subscribed to this. I love this. Scentbird has a myriad of different scents available for all seasons, all year round. Not to mention, they also have men's cologne available as well. I'm not the person that has a specific scent, honestly. I really like trying out new perfumes and new scents, but guys, we all know how expensive it is to go out there and buy all these full-sized perfume bottles. Essentially, Scentbird sends you monthly perfume bottles that are a 30-day supply, so they're not small, they're actually roller-sized bottles, and these are all designer perfumes that you get to try and have for different seasons, and I felt like this was perfect for today's video, given that it's literally October now, so we're gonna have all of our festivities and everyone's going to be going to their family gatherings or traveling like myself. My 3 scents this month were the Rebecca Meeknoff Blush, the Skylar Fall Cashmere, and the Dolce & Gabbana Dolce Peony. Today, I've actually been wearing, oh my god, it's purple and I just realized that, the new Dolce & Gabbana scent, and these last for a lot longer than 30 days, to be honest. Like, mine usually last for a good couple months. So massive thank you to Scentbird for sponsoring today's video. As you guys know, we love a good sponsor over here. Make sure to click the link down below for your discount as my subscribers and fans, and I would really appreciate it if you would go show them some love, because we love a good sponsor.
Oh my God, he's eating the donut. Your cat's eating donuts. Unbelievable. That is the closest thing to activity that I've seen out of this cat.
Who feeds their cat donuts? I mean, if we're being totally real, this is the most irresponsible shit I've ever seen. So recently I came across a show on Animal Planet called My Big Fat Pet Makeover, and I am telling you, I could not even get through one single episode of this show because, girl.
What if I was to tell you that this was the proper amount for a cat that should be at his average weight?
Wow. I think he would starve with that much.
This is something that you see perpetually in every single episode, is people feeding horrible kibble. I mean, this is kibble that probably cost like $10 a bag. And I hate that this is something that's never addressed, and we're gonna get into it later, but no one ever addresses the actual quality of food that people are feeding their animals. It's really important for people to understand that not just the quantity of food that you feed your pet matters, also the quality has to be considered as well. It's important to note that kibble does have consequences. Studies have shown that kibble is linked to higher obesity rates in both dogs and cats. The kibble industry as a whole has done a really good job of painting this picture that kibble is all you need to feed your pets, which is kind of like if McDonald's said that all you need to eat is McDonald's to live a healthy life.
For that, today, the only thing he'll be sharing is a good lunch that makes us both happy.
This has become a serious problem in not just the United States, but all across the world. As I stated earlier, more than 55% of domesticated dogs and cats in the United States alone are obese, which equates to more than 100 million domesticated dogs and cats in the US.
Obi came to me 6 years ago after I read about his story. It was a pretty desperate situation, so I was one of the first people to read that plea for help, and I said, well, I'll take him.
To be honest, there's really only hypothyroidism, which could be a cause as to why your pet is obese if they're not being overfed, but that's almost never the case. Almost always, your pet is going to be obese or overweight because of the quality and quantity of food that they are eating. An overcaloric intake is directly linked to pet obesity.
Good boy.
Moreover, the CHONKY cat, dog, and other species Instagrams and TikToks, although they might look cute or funny, there's actually a myriad of problems health-wise that happen to dogs, cats, and other species when they become obese. This includes diabetes, cardiovascular disease, respiratory disease, hypertension, cancer, etc., etc., etc. The list goes on. So yes, overfeeding dogs and cats is a terrible thing to do, and you absolutely should make sure that you are feeding your dog or cat the correct food and the correct amount of food. If anyone is curious on how to tell if their dog or cat is an appropriate size for their body weight, here's a dog score chart and here's a cat score chart. They are not able to understand how much food they should and should not eat throughout the day. Dogs and cats will eat however much they can and gorge themselves because in the wild they would not know when their next meal is going to come.
So if you didn't have a shutoff valve and somebody gave you all of this in a day, you would eat them all. Who else in your family doesn't have a shutoff valve?
Poor little bone nugget.
The reason I consider obese animals to be a form of abuse and neglect is because almost always when a pet, a dog or cat specifically, is overweight, it deducts their lifespan by 15%, meaning that dogs and cats that are overweight or obese live on average 2 years less than normal healthy dogs and cats.
This will kill him. Without a doubt, this will kill him. And it won't be a quick thing either. He's going to get diabetic, or his kidneys are going to start shutting down, or he won't be able to walk anymore. I'm sorry.
So what is my solution? If you have an overweight dog or cat, obviously you want to be exercising them. And even if you don't have an overweight dog or cat, you need to make sure that depending on the breed and the size, that you're giving that dog the adequate exercise for its specifications. Dogs and cats need continuous exercise, in my opinion, for 1 to 2 hours a day, depending on the breed. Some breeds are upwards of 2 hours a day. Other breeds could be less, around 30 minutes a day. For example, my Chihuahua, he gets about 30 minutes of running exercise a day, whereas my Beagle gets about an hour and a half of full-on running and playing a day, where we go to the dog park, we throw the ball, she runs with other dogs. I think everybody should make it a habit to exercise their dog appropriately depending on the size and the breed. make sure that you are not adopting a breed of dog that you will not be able to accommodate by giving them the correct amount of exercise, because we see a lot of people who adopt dogs like Doberman Pinschers or Huskies and they don't actually exercise them adequately. Cats are a little different. I have a lot of exercise toys for my cat, but usually if you feed your cat the appropriate amount, cats are very good about being active and playful, so she likes to burn off a lot of calories as well. However, my cat does go for walks twice a day.
Wake up, we're going for a walk! Come on, Tony! Let's go, baby!
Exercising your pet should be a necessity, and it shouldn't be something that you only do just when your pet is overweight. You should always do this for your animal, for their mental and physical health. Now, my next piece of advice for everyone, if you have an overweight dog or cat, or even if you don't, is to feed fresh whole foods. Obviously, my first recommendation would be feeding fully raw. My second recommendation would be feeding a cooked raw food, which is raw food that's all bland but just cooked a little bit. And my third recommendation would be feeding a freeze-dried raw food. But I already made a video on kibble and the kibble industry and dog nutrition, so if you want to watch that video, I will link it down below, because I don't want to go back in depth on why kibble is bad and how to feed a balanced raw diet. I find that the more unprocessed you can get, meaning fully raw, the more nutrition is in the food and the more bioavailable it is for your animals. So my cat and my dogs are all on a fully balanced, which is the key, fully raw diet, and you want to make sure that it is fully balanced and make sure that your dog is getting the correct amounts of food. I'm not going to recommend just feeding less. Obviously, you should be feeding the appropriate amount of food, but in my opinion, it matters the quality of food that you are feeding your animal. And I'm like, why is nobody talking about this? Why is everyone just saying, oh, give your dog kibble, but just feed them way less of it? You should be giving your dog a better quality food that's better for their health, and also feeding them a correct amount of that food. That's what I feel like all responsible pet owners should be doing. And if you cannot feed your dog a quality food, then I would suggest feeding your dog an extremely low processed dog kibble and mixing it with fresh foods like fresh berries, bananas, raw food. You can feed kibble with raw, and I go over it in this video because I know for a while people thought that they digest it at different pHs and your dog couldn't eat raw with kibble. That's a myth. That's not true. I talk about it extensively in this video, but I think it's really important to make sure that you understand your animal's physiology and what they should be eating nutritionally, because otherwise you're going to end up like this woman.
Whenever I eat a meal, he gets some too.
Bells and whistles are going off in my head like crazy. To be that obese at that age, he's right at the cusp where bad things will start to happen. Hi, Elvis. Oh my God, he's huge.
Good boy. Good job.
This is just crazy. The fact that this is literally an epidemic and dogs and cats are dying, more than 50% of our domesticated dogs and cats are dying of obesity. This is more than just an overfeeding problem. This is the quality of food that you are feeding your pets problem. Make sure to feed your dogs and cats the least processed food that you can find that is all balanced and healthy, because the lower processed the food is, the better it's going to be for the animal's health. Anyway, guys, that's all I had to say for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it and maybe learned a little something. Comment down below your thoughts on all the people that I reacted to, and if you have also seen my big fat pet makeover, because girl, that's a train wreck. It's a train wreck. Oh my God. Massive thanks again to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. I really enjoyed making it, and I always, of course, love working with them. Again, that discount code is down below. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.